Anyone
Live
should
streaming is on.
and send your name, phone number, and email address to the chat box. Thank you.
Sorry, Amen. What did you say?
I said everyone should send their name, email address, and phone number
Uh,
to the chat box.
okay, but I can start now, right?
Yeah, you can start.
All right. Good afternoon,
Good
Julia
afternoon.
and Tolu.
Afternoon.
Okay. So I would like us to just give a brief introduction of ourselves. Yeah, this is the first contact section. Like this is the first time we are meeting, so I would like us to know ourselves. Well, I'll start first. My name is Sarah, and I'll be taking us for this week. Yeah. All right. So you can just introduce yourself like this, like your
Okay.
name, your name, the technologies you've used, and what you do, basically.
Oh, okay. My name is Victoria. I am here to learn. I actually have learned HTML and CSS. I'm still learning JavaScript, but I'm here to learn and develop myself. It's great meeting everyone.
All right.
All
Okay.
right, Victoria.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bamshile Tolulope. I'm also here to learn. The tech skills I've been using I use HTML, I use JavaScript. I am fluent with React too, and also I use CSS and Bootstrap. Basically, work with men, the men stack, sha. Yeah. So yeah, that's my stack. And also I work at Bincom Dev Center as a project manager.
All right,
Yeah.
welcome. Tolu. Okay. Okay. So basically, from what we've said, I think just the basic front end technologies that we've worked with. But for this class, yeah, we'll be doing more of mobile applications. So we'll be doing more of mobile technologies than front end, although it's still front end. Yeah, but I'm introducing some new tools to us. Yeah, but basically, we still need the idea of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to carry on with the class. All right. Okay. So, like as we know, mobile applications, like mobile apps, mostly on mobile devices. We know, right? And then there are basically two types of mobile applications. We have the native application. Sorry, Tolu. I think
Yeah, I'll do
Amen
that.
says
I'm
she sent
coming.
your
Sorry.
details.
I'll send it. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So we have the native applications and we have the web application. The native applications are the normal Android we know and the iOS we know. And then web apps are, are the apps that are mostly run on web pages. But then these days, we find that most of the web applications are also native apps. That's why we could probably say we have a third type of mobile application known as hybrid apps. Hybrid is the combination of web apps and native applications like Android and iOS. Okay, so basically for this class, I will be introducing four of the beginner tools we use for mobile app applications. Yeah, so we have Cordova. I don't know, you have your curriculum now, right? So I don't think some of it these terms would sound new. Yeah, we have Cordova, we have Gradle, we have Java, We have Android Studio. I think these are the four for now. If at any point you don't get me, because I think I tend to talk faster, you could just call my attention. Do you get?
Yeah, I'll get you.
All right. Please, I would also appreciate responses, please, so that we know that we're listening. Okay. So Cordova, I'm coming. Okay. So Cordova is an open source development platform. Open source in the sense that it's free and anyone can have access to it. So
Sorry,
it's an open source
sorry,
development.
sorry, say that, please. Are you sharing your screen or I don't know?
No, no, no. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, I'm not sharing
Okay,
my screen yet.
okay,
Yes. So like it's an open source development platform used in building mobile applications. Just like I said, it's used for building native applications, web apps, or we can just say hybrid applications, right? Because hybrid is the combination of web apps and native apps. And because these days we mostly notice that most applications that we access on our web pages can also be accessed on our mobile devices. So for the most part, most companies build hybrid applications nowadays. So it's rare to actually find applications that work on the web page that would not work on our mobile devices. So what Cordova has come to do now is to make it possible to build these hybrid applications with the normal front end technologies that we know, like our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Because days before now, or probably years before now, if you are to build mobile applications, you have to know the basic native languages of this OS. Like if you are to build an iOS application that is for iPhones and the rest of them, you would have to have a knowledge of Swift. Swift is a programming language used for iOS platforms. And then if you are to build Android applications, you would have to have a knowledge of C sharp. You understand? So all those ones are like high level languages. And most times, if you're not good in this, you'll not be able to build mobile applications. But platforms like Cordova has made it possible for you to like build mobile applications with just your knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So with all you know now, like this, you can build mobile applications. You don't need to know what C sharp is. You don't need to know what Swift is. I don't know if you understand.
yeah, Oscar.
Yeah, so basically, so that's what Cordova does. So Cordova is like I think it's like the machine kind of. I'll call it like the machine that assists in building these applications. We have dependencies, just like our normal. Okay, let me use generator now for an example. Okay, generator is one that okay actually when you put it on, you get light in the house if there's probably no normal NEPA electricity now, right? But then this generator depends on fuel, it depends on oil for it to function now, right? You can't just put on your generator like that. So Cordova also has dependencies. They are called dependencies that it depends on for it to like function properly. And that's where Gradle comes in. Gradle is an automation build tool. It's like the dependency for Cordova. That's why we also have Java. And so without Gradle, without Java, Gradle can't even work in the first place. So I don't want to speak too much, but so as to avoid confusing us. But then what we need to know is that Cordova is like the machine that assists in building our applications. that depends on other tools that are called dependencies like Gradle and Java. You don't need to know what Java is. You don't need to like dwell much on Java, but just know that you need Java in your system, like in your laptop, to get going in building applications, and I need Gradle as well to get going in building applications. And then the last one, which is the Android Studio. Android Studio is an IDE, it's an integrated development environment, just like VS Code. I don't know if you know what VS Code is.
Yeah, we know
Yes,
VS Code.
yes, I know VS Code.
Yeah, that's how Android Studio is. But then it's basically for using mobile, like Android applications only. So it depends on your choice. It depends on what you can work with. So if you feel like coding in VS Code might not be convenient for you, you can try to switch to Android Studio. So Android Studio is like an IDE, just like VS Code. They have the same features, but definitely Android Studio is higher because it has other functions that it does that VS Code does not. So I would share my screen, so like I'll show you guys what these stuff are like. Can I see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
this is Conover I talked about, the Apache Conover. So like I said, it's you build mobile apps with just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You target multiple platforms with one code base. That is multiple platforms in the sense that it could be web apps, it could be native apps that we all know. So like we'll still get to this. All of these are like the procedures to getting Cordova on our system. Yeah, we have to get this, like you have to actually get a generator in your house to be able to power your house now, right? So you have to actually get this Cordova into your system to be able to like work with it. So we'll get to all this, but I just want us to see what I was talking about. Then the grade that I talked about. No, no. Um, Okay, so just like I said, Grade is an open source build automation tool focused on flexibility and performance. Okay, so basically, just like I said, Gradle assists in building mobile applications. They're like the build automation tool, obviously, um, built in their different languages, which does not concern us, like built using Groovy and Kotlin, but actually that does not concern us now. But what we just need to know is that Gradle assists, or like a dependency for which Cordova works. So we also have to get this installed on our system as well if we are to build mobile applications. Yeah, okay, Gradle is official build tool for Android and comes with support for many popular languages and technologies. And so the next one is Java. Alright, okay. Okay, so from what I've actually known, I think there are two kinds of Java JDK. So JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Yeah, so um there are two kinds of JDK. We have the Open GRE JDK and we have the Oracle JDK. So as you can see Java downloads Oracle. So if you have to download, you actually download Oracle JDK like that. That's the one Cordova works with because okay, time I tried downloading JDK, I mistakenly downloaded Open JDK, and then there were errors. I couldn't build applications properly. So until I had to download the Oracle JDK. I'm just letting us know so that when we start, we would not make the mistake of downloading another kind of
JDK.
JDK. Yeah. Okay. So like basically, Java and Gradle are dependencies for Cordova. So like without these two, you cannot properly build. You can't even build an application even if you have Cordova installed on your system. Yeah, so you would actually need this. And then the last one is the Android Studio.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Eh?
I said I have a question.
Okay.
All right, this Android Studio, can we use VS Code like in place of it? Can write your code in VS Code and put it on
Yes,
Android?
yes,
It
yes.
will
You
work.
can that's why I said it depends on your preference. Maybe after reading about Android Studio, you might try to switch or still stick to your VS Code.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's basically for yeah, specifically designed for Android development. So for like Android applications now, right? So that's what Android Studio is
All right.
basically.
Thank you very much.
Yes, but it still functions the same way VS Code function. Okay, so like that is all about the photos we'll be using, but then you can see like a deeper study on your own. Okay, I'll start by showing us how to get this them installed on our system. Then the last thing we would have to know is okay, like after getting Android Studio, after getting Java, Gradle, and Cordova installed on our systems, right? We would have to set our environmental variables. There's something called setting environmental variables.
Variables.
And why do we do this? Okay, this is actually to like enable our system locate where these tools are so that once you are reading an application, it can easily direct it to like easily make references to where these tools are. Okay, just like if you have Cordova installed already, you would have to like indicate to the system where Cordova is installed on your system. Like that's what an environmental variable is like getting the location defined. Yes, so that your laptop or whatever will be able to easily recognize where these tools are once you are building applications. I would show us what it is like. One thing is that it works differently for operating systems. If you are using Windows, it works differently for Windows, and if you are using Mac OS, it works differently for Mac OS, and if you are using Linux as well, it works differently. I'm using Linux, so it actually works differently for me. Like how I get to like specify the location of my tools in Linux different from how you specify them in um
Windows.
Windows. Okay, but like let me show you guys what environmental variables is like on Linux. Okay, you can see my screen now, ba.
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes.
I'm trying to maximize it. Okay, so I have Java on my system, and this is where I have Java. If you should go to my USR folder, go to my lib folder, you'll find Java there. And then I also have Gradle, add location here. I have my Android Studio, that is the Android home, and this is where you would find it. And then, okay, this Python, this is not for this class, this is something else, like for something else. But then I had to still include the path so that my system can recognize where it is, but it's not for this class. Then I have, okay, I think it's Cordova that doesn't have that specification. Yeah. So, but then the Android Studio, the Java, and the Gradle, I have to like include their path here, such that if I'm building applications, my system can easily recognize where they are and then get them. Kind of like that's what certain environmental variables are, because even if you have all of these properly installed and you don't tell your system where to um locate them, if you are building applications it will not work. Yeah, but then this is how I set them for Linux. You it's easy, you can just check online how to set environmental variables um for sorry, on Windows, and you get it. I think there's even a video on LMS for that, and that is specifically for Windows. So you could just watch the video after you are done installing all these applications, sorry, all these tools, and you get them. Then there's something in Android Studio. Apart from the fact that it's an IDE, you could also use it to like you could also install some build tools as well. I'll show us. Let me just, so let me start by showing you how to install Cordova. So this is just how to install Cordova. So installing Cordova, it runs on Node.js. Yeah, and Node.js is available on npm. So first of all, you'd have to also have um no, you would have to have Node.js on your system as well before you install Cordova, because like you use npm to install Cordova, so you have to have it. Like Node.js is included in, sorry, npm is included in Node.js. So once you have Node.js installed, npm comes with it automatically. So like you're not installing npm, you're installing Node.js, so that once you have Node.js installed, you have npm comes with it, and that's what you have to get first before you install Cordova. So Cordova command line runs on Node.js and it's available on npm. Follow platform specific guides to install additional platform dependencies. Open a command prompt, that is on Windows, or terminal if you are using Linux, and type npm install Cordova globally. That is the meaning of this G, globally. So I would not be doing that. Okay, if I'm doing npm, I would not be doing that because I already have Cordova on my system. So, but then how do I know if I have Cordova on my system? Is by checking the version of Cordova. Yeah, to be sure I have it on my system. I'm coming. So this is how to check if I have Cordova on my system. Just Cordova, then hyphen V. So basically, before you install Cordova, you need to install Node.js. You need to install Node.js, and this is what Node.js is like. Yeah, sorry, this language is for Linux. I'm sure you will define the ones for Windows. And if you are installing, make sure you install the one with LTS, not the current version, like not the one with the current attached to it. You are installing with the one with LTS. Do you understand?
Yeah, we understand you.
Yeah, so you have to get Node.js installed on your system first before you can install Cordova. Installing Node.js, you have to install the one with the LTS. Yeah, so as you can see, I have my Cordova version showing. That means I have Cordova installed. So I have Cordova version 11.00. And then Java, to check if I have Java installed as well, you have to install Java first before you install Gradle, because if you go to Gradle site, you will see where they will tell you that the prerequisite for installing Gradle, one of them is Java. So you have to install Java first before installing Gradle. And then this is where you install Java. That's the Oracle I talked about. So, and then Java is same thing as JDK, like Java, that's Java Development Kit. That's the same thing. So whether I say Java or I say JDK. But then we are working with, there are different versions of Java here. We have version 19, 17, and you install based on your system specification. But then we are working with Java 8, that's JDK 8. That's what Cordova works with. I don't know if you understand.
No,
Cordova
I
does
don't
not work.
understand the place. Come again.
Yeah, Cordova does not work with any other version of JDK except JDK
Oh,
8. Yeah,
oh,
so
that
if you are
makes
installing, so like
that.
one thing that I said we should notice, if you're installing Node.js, it should be LTS, not the one
Yeah.
with current attached to it. And then if you're installing Java, it shouldn't be open JDK. Let me show you guys so that you know that there's open JDK. You are not installing open JDK. So there's open JDK, but you are not installing open JDK. You are installing the
Oracle.
Oracle JDK, yes, but then installing version 8. That is what Cordova works with. It doesn't
Okay.
work with any other version except version 8. So this is version 8, but then you come down based on your system. I use Linux. My system is times,
I can actually
I
do
think
it.
it's 86, but then I don't think that concerns you, Sha. So Windows, yeah, I don't know what your system description is.
64.
Either it's 6 or 64, so you download based on that. But then one thing before you download is that you have to open an account with them. But that's no problem. Shall I just open an account with them and then you can download it. So I'll check if I have Java installed.
Okay.
Okay, so you see, so you can see 1.8.0. Yeah, but then let me show you guys something. Java point 8. Okay, so JDK 8, also known as, okay. So Java JDK 8 has version number 1.8. So 8 is actually the product version number and 1.8 is developer version number. So they're actually the same thing. So the product is the same. So like once you install JDK 8, you might be seeing JDK 1.8 point something, but not to worry. 1.8 is actually the developer version number, but 8 is the product version number. So they're actually the same thing. Like, I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
I actually installed
Please, I
JDK
have a
8.
question.
All right, Victoria.
Um, which where are you checking these things? Like which environment are you using to check this? Check your version of.
Oh yeah, this is
Like,
my terminal. Like I think it's called command prompt on Windows. Can you
Yeah,
see?
Windows command prompt.
Yeah,
But you
okay,
so
have
so
to
like,
register as admin. Use it as administrator for you to use it.
yes,
You have to run as administrator.
yeah, so yeah, so I have Java version. I have 1.8.0. You see something that I have JDK 8. So that's for my
Okay.
grade.
I have to really install all these things. Okay, email.
So as you can see, the prerequisite really runs on all major OS and requires only a Java JDK version 8. So you'd see Codeva works with version 8, Redo works with version 8 as well. So you have no choice than to download JDK version 8. So I'm also on your Java JDK version 8 or higher. All right, but we're going with 8 because that's what Codeva works with. We're not going with higher. So to check, run the okay. So I have Java, sorry, Gradle 7.4.2 installed on my system. Do you understand? Like I just like try to show you guys like how to check if you have these things installed on your system after you've installed them. So like it's after the installation you would now um set your environmental variables. But then the last one is the Android Studio. Android Studio is an IDE, so it's not like a dependency. I would have to like check the version here. So it's an IDE, just like VS Code. And once you install or download VS Code, it comes as an app now, right? So that's how Android Studio is
So
too.
yes, yeah.
Android Studio comes like an app. So
That Android Studio. Please, what are we, please for the Android Studio? What are we to like set inside of it?
yeah, that's what I'm trying to like show you guys. So this is Android Studio. Let me open it. Yeah, still a little time.
Are you still there?
Yeah, it's trying to load. So you
Okay.
guys take a little time. Yeah. Come. So please, if I don't allow it to load, to start hanging.
All right, no problem.
Okay, we can see my screen now, right?
Yes, we can.
I said Android Studio is an IDE just like VS Code, but then it's specifically designed for Android development. So then, like, there are some environments, like some things we have to set in, or configure rather, in Android Studio to like to enable us build applications properly. You understand? Like after setting this, you can still, like, one good thing about it is that after setting this on Android Studio, it's not made compulsory that you now code with it. You can just set these tools there, but then go on to code with your VS Code. So one of them is
Okay.
the Android SDK, that is Android Software Development Kit. So like you get that under your tools. I don't know. Let me go back. So, so like tools, get your SDK manager, then your Android SDK. So under your SDK tools, you now um like you now install the SDK to as in based on the particular Android um platform you are like building for. Like
Uh,
you, I mean, no, you are, as in we have Android, like different versions of Android. We have version 9, version 10, version
mm.
11, and the rest of it. So I think basically the highest so far is maybe 11 or 12. I really can't remember. So, but then the build 2, like that will be appropriate for it, like be like the highest. I think so far is version 30. Yeah, 30.9. 0.3. That's why I have 30. Like I have 30 installed here. I don't know if you understand. Like you will start to like upgrade your SDK build tools based on what the Android version is. Like if you're currently if we are like currently on Android version, let's say 9, I think the appropriate one should be between 27 below like that. But then it's on Android version 11, and that's why I have SDK built to 30. 30 is like the highest so far
Okay.
for it.
I want to ask a question. Can you like download
All
more
right.
than one this thing? Can I download more than one Android SDK build too?
Yeah, I think I don't know, but I've actually not worked like that. Just the one I'm making use of, I install, but I think it's possible. But I've not done that, sure.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So what else
Then
are we talking?
I think because there was this project I was working on, but then I had SDK version I think 29 or so installed on my system. So like I had to like upgrade to a higher one. I think that's why I have this 30 self installed. Like I had to go back and uninstall 29. So I really don't think you can have to install though, because I as in I had to uninstall 29 version 29 point something to be
From
able
9
to
for 30 to
install
1.
the one I want to work with.
All right, no problem.
What do you say?
I said no problem. Thank you.
Yes. So basically, just the SDK tools you have to install here. You just click on the one you want to install, and then okay on it. You want to install it. Then the following will be installed and the rest of it. So just okay and then you go ahead. Um, so let's assume we have everything installed,
So that's
and
only what we sorry, please. Is that only what we need for our Android studio? Only that.
yeah, it's just the SDK. Yes,
Wow. Okay. No problem.
yeah, just the SDK. Come, is this honestly that making it seem to one? Okay, so you would actually have to set your environmental variables for your um SDKs as well. Okay, let me show us. So you would also have to set your environmental variable for SDK as well. But this is not a big deal though. I think the video is on your LMS, so you could just watch that for Windows, basically. Okay, so let's assume you've installed your Cordova, and before doing that, you have your Node.js installed, Node.js LTS, not current. You have it installed, and then you have your Java version
Yes.
8, Oracle JDK 8 installed, and you have your Gradle installed as well. You have your Android Studio downloaded, and you've configured your tools, at least version 30 will do. That's your SDK build tool. Then Okay, that's all basically. So, and then you set your environmental variables as well for your Gradle, for your Java, for your Android Studio, and then your SDK that you installed on Android Studio as well. You have everything set up, and then now you want to build an Android application. Basically, it's an Android application you build now because you only have environment set up for Android applications, and that's what we've been doing so far. I think to build for iOS, you can still use Cordova to build for iOS to sure, but then I think they have different um environment to be set up. First of all, you can use Android Studio for iOS. You understand, like that's another thing entirely. But then for this sha, we are building for Android applications only. That's why we're making use of Android Studio and setting our environment specifically for Android applications. So everything you're doing in this class will only be on Android applications. So if you want to test your applications, you are testing them on your Android phones.
Okay.
So let's say we have everything done and we want to build an application. Come in.
Cordova.
It's hanging. Come. It's hanging. Okay, so after installing your Cordova, that thing you need, let's say want to build an application, there are specific terms used for these tools that you can't just type in anything and expect it to work. There are terms it works with. So if I want to build an application using um Cordova, so I'll start with Cordova create, the name of my project, let's say app, Cordova create app, and I enter. So just like the generator example I gave, you have everything already inside the generator. If you want to get light to your house, you just have to on the generator. So now we have everything like inside our system, and everything inside. So if we now want to build application, we just have to like now on our code over. Like we just have to now use code over in creating the app. And since you have everything done, you don't need to actually worry. Why is no
I think it's loading.
It's really taking time. You also have to do so.
660 something.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why it's timing at different times today.
No problem.
Okay, so okay, so if I'm to build any project, I'll just code over, create the name of the project, the apps. So you see, creating a new Cordova project. You can see my screen now, ba? Like very well.
Yes, we can see your screen.
So yeah, so
Yes, you
Cordova.
can see your screen.
Okay, so I just created a new project. If I go to my file manager now, I would see a folder named apps. So, but then that's not all. I have to now indicate what platform I'm building for. Am I building for iOS? Am I building for Android? Or is it a web app that is the browser? So, but then I'm building for Android, obviously. So I would code over platform, add Android. So to add Android and add the latest Android version. Oh, sorry. You see, current working directly is not a Cordova based project. So I just created the project, but then I have to like work from the project. So I have to like enter into the project first of all. So as we know, the normal command is cd that is changed directory, sorry, to apps. Do you understand?
Yes.
Victoria, do you understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Cordova platform. And so, okay, so it's version 10 rather. not 11. Okay, so I've created a Cordova project apps and I've added a platform Android. So my Android target, Android 30, as I showed you guys now, the SDK installed and the version created Android version 10.1.2. So after that, go to your file manager on Windows, and just like I said, you can actually build with your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the app I created apps, you can see the apps folder here. So this is what is contained in the Cordova project. We have the node modules, we have the platforms. I have just one platform here, Android. So
Okay.
I have
My
node
Java
modules.
is 11.
Eh?
No, no, it's me, Jared. It's not you. I was talking to myself. I just discovered my Java is 11, not 8.
Is 11.
Yeah, I was trying to run what you are running. So I now discovered that my Java
Yeah.
is the wrong. Yeah, yeah. So it's not running on my system. So
Yeah.
my
Okay.
apps are not included.
Yeah. Okay. So you have your node modules folder, you have your platforms folder, you have your config.xml, your package.json, your package log.json. Okay, but then basically if you